Is your job safe? Or are you going to get replaced by AI? Okay, here's the deal. I spend a lot of time helping small to medium-sized business owners get their back office, sometimes their front office, in shape working, okay? A lot of it people call BPO. I'm going to use ChatGPT as we go through this so I can show you how, kind of an example of how I use ChatGPT on a daily basis, okay? But BPO stands for business process outsourcing, okay? So offshore, BPO, these are kind of those roles, okay? So a lot of people would say these business processes, those are all going to be taken over by AI. So let's talk about each one of them really quick, okay? First, let's talk about customer support. Is customer support going to be taken over by AI? The answer is no. The answer to all of these is no. It's not going to be taken over by AI, okay? Customer support, listen to me now. Customer support will not be replaced by AI, or customer support specialists will not be replaced by AI. But guess what? Customer report specialists that use AI will replace customer support people. So how's it look today and how will it look? Today, like maybe a D level is small, medium-sized businesses aren't picking up the phone. You can't really see me, but I'm trying to look like a phone, right? Today, people, D levels are not picking up their phone. C level is they're picking up their phone in during business hours. Okay, maybe a B level would be they're picking up their phone during business hours. If the phone is busy or off hours, they have some type of phone tree that says leave your email address, leave some stuff behind, and then it will automatically send or try to send an email, automatically send a text message after the call saying, hey, what's up? And it'll put it into your CRM. And then maybe level A, where we're going, okay, is a phone tree that sounds more like a real person, can triage a lot of those things as they come in, can tell if it's a sales call or not. And the big thing with any of this customer support sound stuff is there's a delay and it sounds kind of like a robot right now, okay? So none of this stuff is where it needs to be. But the A level, where we're getting to, will still have customer support people, but it'll be you call a business, and you talk to an AI for the first couple minutes, they get all the information, then you go to human. If it's after hours, maybe they complete the call, but I still think optimize is just making sure you get it categorized correctly, make sure you get it pushed to a CRM, and having a good phone tree in place, okay? Technical support, this is one people talk about all the time, right? Like technical support, your IT person is going to become AI. And I think this one is laughable. Why is it laughable? Because how many times does an IT guy just like Google the question and get the answer and then unplug, plug back in, do the updates, right? Like if technology is the problem, technology can't be the solution, right? So I don't think AI is going to replace technical support, okay? Telemarketing and cold calling. It's going to be impacted drastically. Here's how it's going to be impacting, or let's talk about it right now. You can do, they call it ringless voicemails, right? They're unbelievably cheap. I'm talking fraction of a penny. You can leave ringless voicemails all over the place, or at least you could a couple years ago. It stopped really working, so you might not be able to do it anymore. They weren't actually getting delivered. That was some cool telemarketing stuff. Everyone's talking about, like, we do a ton of cold calling, right? Everyone's talking right now about, like, what happens when you have an AI do the telemarketing. So here's my prediction on it, okay? Number one, right now it's too slow. It can't go fast enough to keep up. It also sounds robotic, okay? They used to have this thing called, it's like opt-in cold calling or something, where they'd be like, hey, this is John, and if you're looking to sell your house, press 1. Right? And some people would get that to work, but it doesn't work very well. Okay. But what was the point I was gonna make here? Okay, this was the point I was gonna make. Sorry, I don't edit these things, so sometimes they're a little rough. Okay, but this is what's gonna happen. People are trying to invest in these companies that are gonna be able to do high volume cold calling and reach a ton of businesses or a ton of individuals, all from a computer. And they're not going to have people, okay? Here is what's going to happen. The moment you can do that, it's going to stop working. It's either going to be outlawed or the carriers aren't going to let you do that. And here is my my source or my experience for saying that, okay? In 2020, you could send a text message and it would go through like 100% of the time. And then there was a couple platforms like, can't remember, Launch, Lead Sherpa, I think was one, and Launch Control or something like that. I can't remember exactly, okay? But there were times we were sending 10,000 text messages a day and they would all go through. And then what happened? The election happened. I can't remember what would it have been, 2020? I think it was a 2020 election happened. And all the political campaigns started sending mass text messages and people got annoyed. AT&T and T-Mobile immediately said like, hey, we gotta fix that, right? And then on your phone, it would start showing scam likely, right? They would categorize numbers as scam likely. You would have a bunch of text messages that didn't go through, right? So everyone's really excited for this idea of like, hey, how can I do 1,000 cold calls a day with click of a button? I'm telling you, it absolutely will not work. If it does work, it'll work for like 6 to 12 months and then it'll stop working. I guarantee it. Okay. Let's look at data entry. I think data entry will be affected significantly by AI. We get paid sometimes. Like let's say someone has, ABC CRM. Okay. They've been operating their business off ABC CRM and they get bought out by a company that operates on Service Titan. They want to take all of the records in their old CRM and put it in Service Titan, okay? Sometimes they can figure out ways to do that, but guess what they do a lot of times? They hire cheap labor to go line by line and type all that in with data entry. We've done a bunch of staffing for data entry type roles like that. I gotta think over time, at a minimum, they're going to be able to print all that stuff out, upload it, use AI to make sure they can check all that data, take data off PDFs. I gotta think that's becoming more efficient, but I'm not kidding. Even on big companies, that's got to be a big line item because we've been paid thousands of dollars for it. Bookkeeping and accounting. As far as I can tell, QuickBooks. Everyone's still using a bookkeeper with QuickBooks, okay? I think the sophisticated people are offshoring all the bookkeeping, and most of the accounting is still in the U.S., okay? And then as I look in QuickBooks, I got to think QuickBooks. In fact, let's access this. How does QuickBooks not use any AI? Does QuickBooks have built-in AI features? I don't think it does. I haven't seen anything in, yes, QuickBooks incorporates artificial features to streamline and enhance various accounting tasks. Creating invoices, automated expense categorization. Okay, so maybe it's suggesting some expense categories. Everything I've seen is basically like the expense category recommendation is just what it was before, or it's wrong. So I think they are using AI, but I don't think it's that good. So I don't think it's going to replace bookkeepers and accountants anytime soon. I think it will make them significantly more efficient, though. I think a bookkeeper and an accountant should be able to become way more efficient and effective, right? Like, how many times do I get financial reports? I'm like, like, what's important here, right? All right, HR and payroll services. Depends how you run HR. Because we do recruiting and staffing, we have to take large data sets or our database and go through them and try to figure out who's good and who's bad in a time efficient manner. So it makes us more efficient there. Payroll services. Here's a secret no one wants you to know. Just use Gusto if you can. Gusto is so easy to use. Okay. Appointment setting. Can you make, will AI make appointment setting easier? I don't know. Let's think of how do you set an appointment. That's like, I like let's say a lead comes in, you want to call that lead right away. Maybe you could get some AI stuff to do that, but I'm going to skip that. Okay. So let's see. Let's just do a couple more minutes here. Will AI replace these BPO roles? Great answer. The shorter is AI will change BPO roles, but it won't replace all of them. Let's break it down. Okay. Data entry, AI can scan and auto. So yes. Basic customer service, chatbots. When's the last time someone was like, yeah, that chatbot was good? Never. Invoice categorization, you'd think, but QuickBooks has such a monopoly of that I think they're going to be slow to move that stuff. Appointment scheduling. I know there's some stuff, right? Like think about if, like I use Spark for email. And it's got some AI stuff built in. Think about if it was like, you were like, hey, do you want to have a meeting next week? And, it used to, back in the Microsoft Outlook days, you could like look at people's schedules and see if it matched up. I would imagine there's got to be something where like as you're typing, it says like, hey, it looks like you both have 2 p.m. tomorrow open, right? Like I got to think some of that'll happen. So let's talk this real quick. Okay. So how can AI support these things? How will AI support sales and cold calling? I think, anyone familiar with Go High Level, it's not, we haven't used Go High Level in a couple of years, but it's becoming more and more popular. I think, that's not an AI, but it's kind of like this idea of like, how do you set up automations and create a system, that can work without a bunch of manual interventions, right? Like, and then you kind of take that to the next level. So I think, although Go High Level is not AI, it kind of feels like AI. And is Go High Level using AI? Go High Level, does it truly incorporate AI? Let's see what it has to say. So many of these things say they have AI, but it really doesn't. So content, okay. AI-powered chatbot, manages reviews, integrates with ChatGPT within the workflow builder to automate complex processing, such as responding to leads, maybe. Funnel automatically generates optimized sales funnels. Engages prospects schedule. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I believe any of that, but customer escalation handling, back office, virtual assistants. Okay, so what's my takeover? Where'd I start with this? I can't remember what I made the title list, but ultimately the question at hand is, will AI replace offshore staffing, right? We look at onshore staffing for back office, front office. What of that has gone offshore? It's like these repetitive tasks, sometimes lower level, I think becoming more mid-level, but because wage arbitrage, you can get great deals. Will those jobs go to AI? I don't think those jobs are going to AI anytime soon. I just think those roles are using AI more and more. And I know I've said this a bunch on LinkedIn and Twitter, but if I look at all my friends and all the people I hang out with that are smart, capable, tech-forward guys, none of them use AI nearly as much as my 22 to 25-year-old Filipino and Pakistani virtual assistants. Our virtual assistants in Pakistan and Philippines use AI way, way more than anyone I've met stateside. So that's what I got. Thanks for watching. Go to bravocompanydigital.com, Bravo Global Staffing, or John Plumstead on any of the socials if you want to connect. Thanks.